If you think Lauren Sanchez's life is all yachts, Venice weddings, and rubbing elbows with billionaires, think again. Behind the perfectly curated Instagram posts and magazine perfect moments, something deeply human and surprisingly emotional has been unfolding. Yes, she's married to Jeff Bezos, living a billionaire fairy tale. But just days ago, Lauren shared a moment that fans say shows a side of her we rarely get to see, dropping her son off at college. She's a glamorous new bride appearing in headlines and photos that look straight out of a Hollywood movie. But for her kids, she's just mom. Watching her son Evan step into adulthood, setting up his dorm room, and starting a brand new chapter of life shook her to her core. This wasn't about luxury or fame. It was about letting go, a feeling every parent knows, but few get to witness in someone living in Lauren's extraordinary world. If you think that's all there is, there's more drama behind the scenes. Her family life is a complex web of relationships and blended dynamics. She's raising 3 children from past relationships, while Jeff has 4 kids with his ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott. Add in her recent Venice wedding, her star-studded life in the spotlight, and fans are left wondering, how does she juggle it all without it unraveling? In this moment, we see Lauren stripped of glitz and glamour, vulnerable, emotional, and undeniably human. And while headlines focus on her billionaire marriage, it's this bittersweet, relatable struggle that's capturing the attention of fans online, because no amount of wealth can make saying goodbye to your child any easier. When Lauren Sanchez took to Instagram, it wasn't for a designer dress or a sun-drenched yacht this time. Instead, she shared something that hit fans right in the heart, dropping her son Evan off at college for the first time. Reading her words, you could feel the mix of pride, nostalgia, and heartbreak spilling through every sentence. 18 years of early mornings, late-night snacks, and family dinners flashed before her eyes as she watched Evan set up his dorm room. One small act assembling a cabinet carried the weight of a milestone every parent knows. To outsiders, it might seem tiny. To Lauren, it was monumental. Her boy taking a step into independence, starting a brand new chapter of his life. Fans couldn't help but notice how raw and relatable this moment felt. Jerez, a woman usually photographed in the world spotlight, standing beside one of the richest men on the planet, suddenly revealing the universal emotions of parenthood. Proud, heartbroken, and human all at once. This emotional reveal didn't happen in a vacuum. Just weeks before, Lauren had been at the center of a Venetian fairy tale, her star-studded wedding to Jeff Bezos. The event was dripping with luxury, attended by A-listers and photographed like a magazine spread. But even amid all the glitz, Lauren made sure her kids were front and center. Evan and Nico walked her down the aisle, and Ella served as her maid of honor. The contrast was striking. One chapter of her life exploding in public glamour, while another, her son stepping into adulthood, unfolded quietly, deeply personal, and far from the cameras. It's a reminder that behind every headline, even in a billionaire's world, the milestones that matter most are the ones that touch the heart. The timing of these milestones created a whirlwind of emotions that's almost impossible to capture. Joy and celebration collided with nostalgia and just a hint of heartbreak. For Lauren, it was proof that even the most glamorous moments in life, Venice weddings, A-list events, and billionaire headlines, are still threaded with very real human experiences. Sometimes growth and change hit all at once, and even the strongest hearts can feel their weight. But these moments are only part of a much deeper story. Lauren's family life is layered, complicated, and full of dynamics that rarely make it to the headlines. Before marrying Jeff Bezos, she was navigating the challenges of raising children from previous relationships. Her eldest, Nico, now 24, is from her relationship with Tony Gonzalez, while her younger ones, Evan, 18, and Ella, 17, come from her marriage to Patrick Weitzel. What really grabs attention is the stark contrast between her public and private lives. On one side, there are the red carpets, star-studded vacations, and photos that dominate entertainment news. On the other, there's Lauren quietly posting heartfelt glimpses of motherhood, late-night snacks, dorm room setups, and those small, intimate milestones that remind everyone she's a mom first. It's this mix of glamour and grounded parenting that keeps fans talking, speculating, and connecting with her story on a surprisingly personal level. It's this delicate balance that makes Lauren Sanchez feel so relatable, even though she lives a life most people can only dream of. Despite the yachts, Venice weddings, and headlines linking her to one of the richest men in the world, she's still a mother first, navigating blended family dynamics, supporting her children's growth, and celebrating milestones, big and small. Every post she shares, every public appearance is watched, dissected, and debated by millions. Yet, behind all that scrutiny is a woman trying to keep her family connected, grounded, and thriving. Marrying Jeff added an entirely new layer of complexity. Bezos has 4 children from his marriage to Mackenzie Scott. And unlike the high-profile moments Lauren shares with her own children, Bezos' kids are famously private, rarely appearing in media coverage. This creates a unique dynamic where 2 families, each with their own rhythms, histories, and expectations, must coexist under one roof, or at least in one extended family sphere. Fans and gossip watchers have speculated endlessly about how these separate worlds mesh and whether Lauren's children and Bezos' children interact freely, or if boundaries are carefully maintained to protect everyone's privacy. Despite the intrigue, Lauren seems to manage it with grace, creating moments of connection while keeping the family's private life shielded from the spotlight. Her posts about Mother's Day or Evan moving into college give fans just enough to feel connected, but they also hint at the ongoing challenge of balancing love, loyalty, and responsibility in a high-profile blended household. Publicly, there's little crossover between the households. The blended family rarely appears together in photos or social media posts, leaving fans and observers to speculate about how smoothly or not they navigate life behind the scenes. Rumors swirl online about whether these separate worlds mesh effortlessly or if tensions quietly simmer. But Lauren and Jeff maintain a polished exterior, keeping the family's personal moments out of the public eye. It's a delicate balance merging children from past relationships while living under the intense gaze of the public. And while the family seems to function well on the surface, there's always the question lingering in the background: what does family life really look like when billions and fame are involved? Lauren Sanchez is no stranger to the public eye, and her social media reflects a life many can only imagine. Yachts gliding across turquoise waters, Venice weddings that look like scenes from a movie, and red carpet events where every detail is perfectly curated. All of it paints the picture of a life wrapped in luxury. But every so often, Lauren Sanchez peels back the layers of her glittering public life to reveal a softer, more intimate side. These aren't the red carpet photos or glamorous yacht shots that dominate headlines. They're moments that make her strikingly human. Take her Mother's Day posts, for example. She shares heartfelt reflections celebrating her children, full of warmth, gratitude, and pride. Or consider her recent Instagram post about Evan moving into college, where she openly expressed nostalgia, pride, and even a touch of heartbreak as she watched her son step into a new chapter of life. It's in these quieter, personal moments that fans see a Lauren few expected. Behind the luxury and fame, there's a mom experiencing the same bittersweet milestones as millions of parents. Children growing up, moving on, and carving their own paths. Of course, the internet couldn't resist weighing in. Fans and critics alike are asking the same question. Are these posts genuine glimpses into Lauren's private world, or carefully curated moments designed to make her seem relatable and approachable? Some argue it's all part of a larger public image strategy, blending emotional vulnerability with the appeal of wealth and lifestyle. Others see it as a rare and authentic window into the heart of a woman balancing motherhood with the pressures of living in the spotlight. Either way, these posts reveal a fascinating tension between public image and private experience. They show that even someone married to one of the world's richest men navigates deeply human emotions: love, pride, longing, and the bittersweet ache of letting go. Even someone like Lauren Sanchez isn't immune to online scrutiny. Social media and gossip forums are buzzing with differing opinions about how she presents herself. Some critics argue that her heartfelt posts are just another way to chase the spotlight, blending motherhood with fame to craft the perfect public image. They question whether the vulnerability she shares is genuine or carefully calculated. On the other hand, many fans see something refreshingly authentic in Lauren's posts. Moments like reflecting on her son moving out or celebrating her children on Mother's Day are praised as rare glimpses of true vulnerability, especially among the partners of billionaires, a world usually reserved for curated perfection. This mix of praise and criticism keeps people talking, adding layers of controversy and discussion that continue to swirl around her. It's a reminder that in the age of social media, even the most private emotions can spark public debate. To better understand today's Lauren Sanchez, it's worth looking back at her past. She wasn't always a billionaire's partner. Her career began in journalism and television, where she worked as a news anchor and entertainment show host. This media training undoubtedly helped her learn to navigate the public space with the grace and professionalism we see today. During her time in the television industry, Lauren developed an understanding of how to create connections with audiences, how to balance professional and personal, and how to present herself to cameras. These skills proved invaluable in her current life, where every public appearance, every social media post, and every interview is carefully analyzed by millions of people worldwide. The transition from television host to partner of one of the planet's most influential people wasn't instantaneous. It was a gradual process of adapting to a new level of attention, new expectations, and new responsibilities. Lauren had to learn to live under the constant microscope of media, where every clothing choice, every trip, and every interaction with children becomes a subject of public discussion. One aspect of Lauren's life that often remains in the shadow of glamorous headlines is her involvement in philanthropic activities. Together with Jeff Bezos, she participates in large-scale initiatives aimed at combating climate change, supporting education, and helping communities in need around the world. The Bezos Earth Fund, of which Lauren is a part, has allocated billions of dollars to combat environmental challenges. Lauren doesn't just accompany Jeff to official events, she actively participates in shaping strategy and implementing programs. Her approach to philanthropy reflects the same balance between public activity and personal involvement that we see in her motherhood. The topic of education is particularly close to her heart. Perhaps this is related to her own experience raising children, but Lauren constantly emphasizes the importance of providing young people with opportunities for development and self-realization. She often talks about how education can change lives, and these aren't just beautiful words. Behind them stand concrete actions and funding for programs that help thousands of young people receive quality education. Living in a blended family with children of different ages and from different relationships creates unique challenges, especially when this family is constantly in the public spotlight. Lauren had to learn to be a stepmother to Jeff's children while continuing to raise her own children, each of whom has their own needs, dreams, and characteristics. Lauren's eldest son, Nico, is already an adult building his own career. His relationship with his new stepfather and half-siblings developed gradually, without haste or pressure. Evan and Ella, who are still in their teenage years, face unique challenges growing up in a family that constantly attracts media attention. Creating an atmosphere where all children would feel like equal family members required special attention and delicacy. Lauren shared in interviews that one of her priorities was ensuring that the children didn't feel divided into ours and theirs. Instead, she tried to create a space where each child could develop and feel supported, regardless of who their biological father was. It's impossible to talk about Lauren Sanchez without mentioning her influence on the world of fashion and style. Her clothing choices are carefully analyzed by fashion critics and fans. Each of her looks becomes a subject of discussion on social media and in fashion magazines. But this isn't just a superficial obsession with appearance, it's a form of communication and self-expression. Through her style, Lauren conveys messages about confidence, elegance, and modernity. She often chooses outfits from young designers, thus supporting creative talents. During official events, her attire reflects the seriousness of the occasions, while in personal moments with children, she prefers comfort and practicality. Her choice of wedding dress for the ceremony in Venice was particularly telling. Instead of a traditional puffy white dress, she chose an elegant but not overly formal outfit that emphasized the intimacy of the moment and her own individuality. This choice symbolized her approach to life in general, combining traditions with personal beliefs and comfort. As the partner of Amazon's founder, Lauren has unique access to the world of technological innovations and their impact on humanity's future. She's not just a passive observer. Lauren is actively interested in how technologies can improve people's lives, especially in education and healthcare. Her interest in space research, connected to Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin project, reflects her vision of a future where humanity expands its horizons beyond Earth. Lauren often talks about how space technologies can help solve problems on our planet, from monitoring climate change to developing new energy sources. She also supports initiatives aimed at involving women in STEM fields, understanding the importance of diversity in the technology sector. Through personal example and funding educational programs, Lauren tries to inspire young women to pursue careers in science and technology. Living under constant public surveillance is a psychological challenge that few face. Every day, Lauren must be ready to be photographed, quoted, and analyzed. This creates unique pressure that affects not only her personally, but the entire family. Research shows that people who are constantly in the media spotlight often face increased levels of stress, anxiety, and even depression. Lauren had to develop strategies for coping with this pressure, including meditation, regular physical exercise, and support from professional psychologists. Protecting children from the negative aspects of publicity is especially important to her. She carefully controls how much information about them enters the public space, trying to preserve for them the possibility of a normal childhood and teenage period. Lauren Sanchez, consciously or not, has become a cultural icon of modernity. Her life symbolizes the possibilities and challenges of the 21st century, where traditional boundaries between personal and public, between wealth and accessibility, between glamour and authenticity constantly intersect and are reconceptualized. She represents a generation of women who are not limited to one role. Lauren is simultaneously a mother, entrepreneur, philanthropist, style icon, and public figure. Her ability to combine these different aspects of identity into a coherent personality inspires many women around the world. At the end of the day, Lauren Sanchez's story reminds us that no amount of wealth or glamour can change the fundamental experiences of life. She may be married to the world's richest man, attend star-studded events, and live a life many dream about, but she's also a mum watching her children grow up, feeling the bittersweet mix of pride and nostalgia that comes with every milestone. Her posts, whether celebrating Evan's move to college or sharing Mother's Day moments, offer a glimpse into that universal human side. Yet, it also leaves viewers with questions. Are these moments a true reflection of her private life, or part of a carefully crafted public image designed to resonate with millions? Either way, they invite us to see the person behind the headlines, navigating love, family, and change in a world where every step is watched, every emotion analyzed, and every moment can go viral. This is the real intrigue of Lauren Sanchez's story, not in the wealth or glamour, but in how she remains human amid it all, creating moments of genuine connection in a world that often seems artificial and retouched. The story continues to evolve, and we observe how a woman tries to balance extraordinary wealth with ordinary human experiences, creating a narrative that is both fairy tale-like and deeply understandable. This is where the true power of her story lies. It reminds us that even in a world of limitless possibilities, the most important things remain simple: human values. Love for family, care for others, and the desire to make the world better.